We know that tensor veli palatii plus another muscle tensor tympani, so which will be seen in the middle ear. These two muscles are derived from first arch mesoderm, and the nerve of first branchial arch is mandibular nerve. Mandibular nerve gives a branch from the trunk, that is nerve to medial pterygoid muscle. So this nerve to medial pterygoid also comes to supply tensor veli palatii muscle. Tensor veli palatii muscle. So this is the nerve supply of tensor veli palatii muscle. So now, other than that, all other muscles, as we spoke, levator veli palatii, palatoglossus, palatopharyngeus, and then musculus uvulae. So all these are supplied by your 11th cranial nerve. 11th cranial nerve. So because the inferior surface of the soft palate, so it is coming in contact with the oral cavity, you can even see the taste buds along the inferior surface of the soft palate. So this will be carried by your lesser and greater palatine nerve. That is one of the alternate routes for the carrying the taste sensation from the soft palate. So that is about the nerve supply. Nerve supply is mainly by the pharyngeal plexus. So sensory nerve, motor nerve, and then the sympathetic fibers. So all the muscles of soft palate except tensor veli palatii are supplied by 11th cranial nerve. Then tensor veli palatii, because it is derived from first arch mesoderm, it is supplied by mandibular nerve through nerve to medial pterygoid, which is coming from the trunk of the mandibular nerve. So that is all about the nerve supply. Now, what happens if there is paralysis of the soft palate? So if the muscles in the soft palate, if they don't work, so what happens? So there will not be approximation of the soft palate towards the passavant ridge whenever the food is entering here into the oropharynx through the oral cavity. The food, instead of entering here into the from the oral cavity to the oropharynx, it can even regurgitate back towards the nasal cavity. So it can go to nasopharynx, from there to nasal cavity. So this is regurgitation of food whenever there is paralysis of the soft palate because of the muscles of the soft palate, so which are not acting. The food can enter into the nasal cavity, nasopharynx, and then the nasal cavity. So nasal regurgitation of food is first complication. Then second complication is because this gap is left always open, so whenever the person speaks, a nasal twang will be added to his voice. This is second complication. And then the third point what you have to remember is, whenever the muscles they get paralyzed here, see this is the outline. See this is the musculus. So this is uvula of the soft palate. So it will be usually hanging in the midline like this. So if there is paralysis of the muscles of the left side, so this will be pulled by so there will be deflection towards the normal side, because the normal side will be pulling it. Normal side will be pulling it. So there will be deflection towards the normal side. This we have to keep in mind. This is normal. If there is paralysis on left side, so it will be pulled towards the right side. So that right side muscles will be pulling the tip of the uvula of the soft palate. So this you have to keep in mind. So remember the position of the soft palate in the paralysis of the muscles of the soft palate. So this we have to keep in mind. So if at all if there is bilateral paralysis of the muscles of the soft palate, so what happens? So as and when the person takes the food, so every time the food will be entering into nasopharynx, and then the nasal cavity, it can even block the nasopharynx. So the upper respiratory passage will be blocked. This you have to keep in mind. So that's all about the soft palate. So soft palate definition, then few points about hard palate you have to know. Then after that, the components of the palate. So you have got fibrous, muscular, glandular. Then you will have to talk about the muscles of the soft palate in detail, their origin, insertion, nerve supply, and action. So the muscles which are coming from above, they lift the palate. So they close the gap between the nasopharynx and the oropharynx. The muscles which are coming below, so they will be bringing down the soft palate downwards. So they will be opening the gap between the nasopharynx and the oropharynx. So that's all about the functions of the muscles of the soft palate. Then what is its importance in forming the anterior pillar of the tonsillar fossa? So whenever there is any inflammation of the tonsil, so there can be So red discoloration of this interior tonsillar pillar. So if it becomes red, so you can assume that there is some amount of inflammation here in the tonsil. So then the nerve supply. So importance of nerve supply. What happens in the paralysis of the soft palate muscles?